You're looking at a small pile of the clamps that I have. I have lots more. Some are a lot smaller, some are a lot bigger, and I use them for all types of things, and I find them very handy. But I also have a glue press, and there's been a lot of interest in my glue press, so I'll be showing you that today. And at the end of this video, I'll show you two applications where I use the glue press where it really helps the process a lot. So let's go ahead and get going. This is my glue press. I've been asked a number of times if I have a video on making this. I don't have a video on this, but what I can do is take it completely apart and show you each piece as if I was building it, and then we'll put it together. And it doesn't have to be just like this. I can show you maybe something to make it easier if you don't want to make it quite like I did. Everything that this is made out of, I had laying around the shop, including this screw. That is something I picked up many years ago at a garage sale, thinking that someday I could use that. Well, fortunately I knew where it was, and that's what I used. And that's a few years ago when I made this. So let's get going. I'll get this apart and meet you right back here at the bench. Alright, I've got it all taken apart. This is a piece of plywood. It's 17 by 14. It's a piece of 1 inch made with multiple layers like Baltic birch. It's very strong and it stays flat. These are the upright pieces. That's made from a 2x4. I cut this slot on the table saw, making multiple cuts. Used a Forstner bit to cut the ends off and also to allow my piece to slide down further. And that piece right there is what I'm talking about. That's also made from 2x4s. I originally started with just a skinny piece here, and I found that it looked like it was flexing, so I glued these on and put screws in it. These fit in here, and I have multiple options on where to put it. And I have a series of holes. Got a hole in here, and what I did was I drilled a hole big enough to put a 3/8 nut in there. And that bolt goes in and lines up with it. Once I had it lined up, I sealed in, I poured epoxy in to lock that nut in place. I've got one on both ends. This is the clamping screw. There's a couple parts for it. If you get one of these, they're real easy to figure out. This needs a hole in here. I'm not going to tell you the hole because you might get one that's different. But basically, that goes in like so. There's a couple screws just to kind of hold it in place. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay. Then you screw this part in. This part goes over there, and it moves all directions. So when you go down on your board, if the board's not flat, it will find its own level. This screw just keeps it from falling off and still allows it to float. So that's now ready. I did wrap at the ends of these so that it fits in here like that and sits on top of there. You could just put it on the side, you could put it on the top. That's how I did it. Okay, let's see if we can get it back the way I had it. I'll put this clamp on here for balance. Same one came off here. need that clamp anymore. Okay, we got that. Now I have this so you can see it, but I think you can. Yeah. Let me flip this up so you can see a little better. I'll do it like this. And I think I'll use that hole there. And one more and we're back in business. Right there. Yeah. Okay. That's it. It goes up and down. So let me find some wood and I'll glue it together so you can see exactly how it works. Well, let's go ahead and glue something together so you can see how the press works. Got a couple pieces of wood that I want to glue together for an upcoming turning, and it'll also be a video in a few weeks. I wax this up in case glue drips on it, and when it's glue dries it'll chip right off, and I use the Johnson's paste wax. That's just a piece of melamine. Here's part of the glue up. That's maple. It's a 1/16 inch thick. This, I believe it's pronounced yarn. I'm going to put that on there and I'll sandwich it again so I can distribute the pressure. So I'll get the glue on there and you'll see the other things I'm going to put on here. That should be fine. We'll put that on here. Get that on and I'll put this on. Now all that pressure should transfer out down onto there and we should get a nice tight joint. Find out probably later today or tomorrow. Alright. Next time you see this piece, it'll be when I'm making the turning from it. Here's another example of why I like the glue press. I've got 2 leftover rings from different projects that I've done over the years, and I just seem to keep rings around in case I ever want to use them. Well, this is a perfect place to use them to show you why I like the glue press. It looks like I could just clamp it like that and be done, except for this. That's got a taper on it. If I put the clamp here, it's just going to slide down. And I know I can use a flat board right here and then clamp it and it's not going to slide away. But I have a flat board here in the glue press and that should work quite well. Let me go ahead and show you how I do that. And then I'll talk about the other option on making this where it'll be a little bit easier. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So I do need something on here, and this piece of plywood will work. And I'll use my little spacer so I don't have to tighten it all the way down. Okay, that's it. I'll let this sit a while and I'll get it out and I'll show you the two pieces, and I'll have something to show you up here where you can make a fixed press and not have to do all this notching, but just have a lot of spacers. Well, here's the pieces that I used the glue press on, and this one turned out real nice, and it was an easy way to do it because of the angled wall on here where I couldn't get a clamp on it. So that was a good use for the glue press. And this one is a piece that had the 16th inch maple, and if you don't get that real flat, you could have a wavy surface. That's nice and flat. So hopefully pretty soon I'll turn this into something interesting. Let me go ahead and get the glue press over here, and I'll show you the optional way of doing it that'll make it just a little bit easier. So this is what I was going to show you that would be even easier to make than what I did. What it does is it eliminates needing to make this adjustable piece, which eliminates drilling the holes in the ends and casting nuts in there. So when the bolts go through here, we can move it up and down. You would also not have to make the channel in these. You could use solid 2x4s on each side. And a solid 2x4 here with the clamp screw located in the middle. So what I would do myself, if I was doing it like that, I would block in up here. I'd screw that in, and then I would put blocks in there for extra strength, because when you're clamping on it, it's trying to push it up. I have heavy bolts on there, so I'm not too worried about it. For adjustability, you could either use layers of plywood, or if you have a big block, but you can also buy this screw, I think as long as 18 inches. This one's only 9. So if you bought a longer screw, you probably don't need to put anything there. So that's pretty simple, and I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like this video, you can let me know by leaving a thumbs up, and also leave a comment. I love reading all of them. So I'll be using this glue press in an upcoming video, and if it all works out, it's going to be pretty cool looking. So stay tuned for that. And thanks to all my subscribers, and if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. So thanks again. Until the next time, see you later.